In this video, we're going to talk about the 12 subject-verb agreement rules. Remember that when you are looking at a subject and a verb, your subject, if it is singular, your verb has to be singular. If your subject is plural, your verbs have to be plural. So let's look at the first one. Do not be confused with words or phrases that come between the subject and a verb, and most of the times that will be a prepositional phrase. For example, the first two chapters of the book were exciting. I'm going to cross out of the book. That's a prepositional phrase. That's not what was exciting. What was exciting is the chapters. Chapters is plural, so my verb has to be plural. Were. The size of the bears startles the spectators. It's not the bears that startle them, it's the size. Size is singular, so my verb has to be singular, startles. Remember, your singular verbs end in S. So write that down somewhere. You're going to hear me repeat that throughout this video. Singular verbs end in S. Size is singular, my verb has to be singular. Singular verbs end in S, I'm going to choose startles. Rule number 2, if you have a singular subject and it is followed by words like in addition to, along with, together with, accompanied by, as well as, if it's a singular subject first, then after all that phrase, your verb has to be singular as well. Look at the example. The coach, as well as the players, was happy over the victory. It doesn't say the coach and the players. It says as well as, in addition to, accompanied by, together with. Those are phrases that we don't look at. So the coach is singular, my verb is singular, singular verbs end in what? Hopefully you said S, so that's why I choose was. I do not say the coach as well as the players were happy over the victory. It might sound right to our ears, but if we've grown up, especially in these texts, what we sound right to our ears is most of the times not grammatically correct. It's the coach was happy. Rule number 3, go back to last week's pronouns. And I noticed that a lot of you missed these questions on the indefinite pronouns in the subject-verb agreement part. If you have a singular subject, it has to take a singular verb. If you have a plural subject, it takes a plural verb. If it is either, then you look at the prepositional phrase. And that's those pronoun charts from last week. So if you need to go back and print those indefinite pronouns, the singular, plural, and either chart, I would suggest that you do that before you go on. So pause this if you need to go do that, and then press play after you've printed it. All right, let's practice some of this. Look at my example. Everybody in the audience was enthusiastic. I'm going to cross out in the audience. I don't look at that. That's a prepositional phrase. My subject is everybody. Go to your chart. Where is everybody? You should see it in the singular list. Everybody is singular. My verb has to be singular. Singular verbs end in S. Neither of the books was available. Many of y'all missed these on the quiz. You're not looking at the books. Remember, cross out of the books. Neither was available. Neither is singular. My verb has to be singular. Those don't sound right to our East Texan ears, but grammatically it is neither of the books was available. All right, let's do a little bit of practice. All of the money is or are reserved for emergencies. What is my subject? It's all. All is one of the either pronouns. So now I get to look at money. Money is singular because it's one unit, so the verb is because is singular. Singular verbs end in S. Neither of the workers has or have tools. My subject is neither. Neither on my chart is singular. I'm not going to look any further. Neither is singular. My verb is singular. Singular verbs end in S. I'm going to choose has. Don't look at workers. It's neither is my subject. Both is or are correct. Both is my subject. Both on my chart is plural, so it's are correct. Everyone brings or everyone bring his or her sandwiches to the fellowship. Everyone is singular. My verb is singular. Singular verbs end in S. Several of the speakers. Several is my subject. Several is always plural. There's only 4 plural ones. Both, few, many, several. And I remember that by saying best friends make sandwiches. It might be kind of corny, but it's how I remember it. Both, few, many, several are my plural indefinite pronouns. So I just told you several is plural. My verb is plural. Were. Each of the guests talks to the maids. Doesn't sound right to our ears. Each is my subject. Remember, I'm going to cross out of the guest. Each is my subject. I look on my chart. Each is singular. My verb has to be singular, and singular verbs end in S. One of the members. One is my subject. One is singular, so my verb has to be singular. Was. Rule number 4, if you have 2 subjects or more, then your verb has to be plural. A dog and a cat are seldom friends. Number 5, sometimes your subject comes after the verb, or as number 5 said, when the verb precedes the subject, which means comes before. There are, or there is, I don't know what there is, so I have to look further. There are no trees in our yard. Trees is plural, so I wouldn't say there is no trees. I'm going to say there are no trees. Rule 6, if you have a collective noun, use a singular verb. Collective nouns are words that mean many people or parts to it, but it's one unit together. Some examples of collective nouns are family, church, choir, class, group. They're singular in meaning. So our family is singular, goes to dinner weekly. Rule 7, look at the true subject of the sentence, not the predicate. The best part of the program is the vocal duets. Well, I might look at duets and think, well, that's plural, but that's not what the subject and verb relationship is. It's the best part. One part is. Rule 8, again, go back to the true subject. They are the women who deserves or who deserve the praise. Deserves is looking at they. They is plural. They deserve. When the subject is a title of a novel or a play, use a singular verb. Sometimes it may look plural, like Romeo and Juliet, but that's one play. So it's is, not are. You have sometimes a noun that ends in S, and this is usually words like economics, gymnastics, aerobics, physics. They end in S, but they're singular in meaning. Economics is a difficult class. Rule 11, if you have sums of money, distance, measurement, the rule says usually take singular verbs, but for this class, always, I will not try to trick you, always take a singular verb. 10 yards of fabric is expensive. 3 miles was a long distance. If you have either or neither nor, look to the subject closest to the verb to determine which singular or plural you're going to choose. Either the students or the teacher has or have the clipboard. Well, I'm going to look at teacher because it's either or. Teacher is the one closest to the verb. Teacher is singular, so my verb is singular, and singular verbs end in S. Neither the teacher nor the students have the clipboard because in that case, I'm looking at students, and students is plural. Memorize these 12 rules. I promise you it will help you in your writing and in your grammar tests. I've noticed that some of you have been really struggling with some of the grammar quizzes. Print the notes. Have the notes out before you take that quiz and those tests over the grammar. It will help you out a lot.